Here's a really simple meal that anyone that loves sushi needs to learn how to make. It's basically onigiri filling on top of rice. I think there's a name for this, but I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I like to call it deconstructed onigiri. Ingredients are really basic. You can get most of it at the regular grocery store. Some of the stuff you might have to find at a Japanese grocer, like the furikake seasoning and this stuff, umeboshi or pickled plums. If you can't find these umeboshi pickled plums, then you can also use mirin, or you can just skip it altogether. And for the rice, you're going to need a Japanese short grain rice, which you can find pretty much in any grocery store. If you can't, just order it off Amazon. Make sure you read the instructions for the ratios. For this particular brand, it says 3 cups of rice to 3 cups of water, so a 1-to-1 ratio. And then we're going to wash the rice to get rid of any excess starch. I do this at least 3 times, but you want to look at the water. As you're washing it, you'll start to notice that it gets clearer and clearer with each round of washing. Now you can see here, I'm shaking the rice around without any water in it. I learned this technique while watching a how to make sushi rice video way back then. And again, this is done about 3 times. You'll see the water start to get clearer and clearer as I go. Into the rice cooker it goes, and then here you're gonna add your umeboshi. If you're using mirin, you'd add that at the end when you go to fluff your rice. Now we're gonna make our salmon salad. I'm using Rubenstein's canned red salmon. You can pretty much use whatever salmon you have access to. If you have fresh salmon and you want to cook it, you can use that as well, but I like to drain the liquids out of here before I dump it into my bowl. We're going to start with about 3 tablespoons of mayo. Obviously you want to adjust according to how much salmon you're using. I don't have exact measurements. I just kind of eyeball it. You don't want to put too much at first. Maybe start with a little bit and then mix it and then add some more if you need it. Now we're going to add our sriracha and our soy sauce, about a tablespoon of each. And our sesame oil, another tablespoon. Again, don't overdo it. You can add a little bit more later, but I'm going to start mixing it up, and you'll see that there are bones in here. The bones are actually really soft if you get canned salmon, so just mix it in. Adds extra calcium to your dish. Now we're going to chop up some scallions and toss it into our little mixture here, and then mix well, really fast, just like that. Taste it and adjust seasonings as needed. I added a little bit of salt because I just like my food a little saltier, not too much though. And that's pretty much it for our salmon salad. I'm going to give it one final taste, and then I'm going to cover it and put it in the fridge to let the flavors all marry together. Once the rice is done, I'm going to fluff the rice. You'll see I'm doing the sushi technique of going sideways. I'm going to mix all that umeboshi in. If you don't have umeboshi, this is when you'd mix your mirin in, or you can just omit it altogether. You don't need that vinegary flavor, but the vinegar does add a little bit of extra depth and also helps to preserve your rice, helps it keep longer, which is kind of the concept behind sushi and onigiri. It was just a way of preserving foods. And finally, we're gonna plate. I'm sorry for the blurry picture here. I didn't realize it was out of focus, but I'm gonna spoon a dollop of my salmon salad on top, and then we're gonna use some of this furikake seasoning. I feel like this is a necessity, but you can definitely omit it if you want. And furikake, again, you can find in pretty much any Asian grocery store or online at Amazon. And that is pretty much it. You can see I also added a couple nori sheets. I like the crunch of nori, but if you don't like it for whatever reason, just omit it. As a matter of fact, you can just omit the entire dish and have a cheeseburger. But it really is a simple weeknight meal, and you can pretty much put together this dish in less time than it would take you to drive to McDonald's and order a Happy Meal from them. And it's going to be cheaper and healthier, and just going to look cooler on Instagram. Anyway, just go ahead and try this super simple, delicious Japanese style deconstructed onigiri.